and responsible if we're going to go forward. And someone got to come up and say, well, look, probably it's my fault. It don't make sense we harping on all the time and looking to cover for everyone. Clearly, there's been a fault from obviously the board or the airline. They come and say, well, look, to the public, I'm sorry, you know, inconvenience ran, and therefore in the future we can look things rather than everyone looking to cover it up, because we're not going anywhere by doing that. You know, sometimes in the early world, Barry, if you're playing professional cricket, and you're playing a professional setup, if you don't get it right, they fire you.
But you were given,
as simple as that.
You were given timed out. It gave me South Africa.
No, but that was different, Barry. That was different. We don't need to go into that, because I traveled from Sri Lanka to Dubai to London, London to Johannesburg, Johannesburg to East London to play a cricket game.
Wow.
You know, so that was the commitment. Not that I get there on time.
Right, you got
there.
You know,
I got there, so I flew in a lot of time zones, and I got there late, and we played against Free State, and my poor friend Alan Donald bowled out within 30 overs.
He was given time, not
but I didn't get fired for that.
No.
But what, the point I'm trying to make, and Philo will tell you, you know, you're playing league cricket, you're playing professional cricket. You know, when you make those mistakes, you know, the club don't want to hear what excuse you have.
No.
They replace you. And this is what we need to do. If Vasbert is not doing a good job for Barbados Cricket Association, you fire me.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Speaking of which, big game coming up next week, we should talk about later. Let's take in one more email. You might get fired if you don't win against Trinidad.
Well, that is true. Come on.
I think we have time for one more email, although so many have come in. Hi, Vasi. This is Mr. Maskell, who taught you at primary school. I want you to fully explain how ticketing and payments are done for West Indies cricketers. Philo could do it too, but I know you better sign Mr. Maskell. Your former school teacher, who I don't know, wants to know how ticketing is done. I think you kind of alluded to that. I don't know if you want to just reiterate it, perhaps, Philo could do it.
Well, when you're selected to represent West Indies, okay, I'm speaking from a squad now. You're given a call, you have your flight details and stuff like that. You go to the airport, everything is there for you. When you arrive, I'm speaking from Barbados now to London. When you arrive in London, the West Indies rep will meet you at the airport, and he will handle your baggage. You're escorted to a bus. I believe that when players are joining a squad that is already in a country, the same happens. Mm-hmm. But I believe in the case of Ryan, maybe there's just a miscommunication. It has to come out of Antigua. The directive for the airlines to have the tickets ready will come out of Antigua. There was maybe a blimp in Antigua. That is the headquarters of West Indies Cricket.
How are team members paid in terms of?
Well, when you're on tour, you get a per diem. Okay, you sign your contract, yes, which is your contract fee, but you're paid a per diem, and you're paid in US dollars. And the per diem will cover the most expensive meal in a 4 or 5 star hotel. Mm. And that's it. And a test match is seen as a week. It's not 5 days. They see a test match as a week.
So then your match fee, of course, is deposited to your bank account?
Well, you give your bank details to the board, and the board will pay you accordingly. How soon, you're playing at home.
After the match?
Well, it all depends on the arrangements that you've signed in your contract. But when you're playing at home, you have there's skills for the players. But those guys who are not playing in a test match will get half the salary of a guy who is playing.
All right. Before we go on to our next point, we want to make something that a salient point you've written.
What's that, Barry?
Yeah, regarding Erythran and his duel that he's always had and Vas with Chris Gill.
Yes. Did Philo make the point that Vas see Chris Gill as a bunny rabbit, or I didn't say that.
No. All he said was that in his last 10 innings that Vas got him out 9 times.
Well, that's based on evidence then. You know, if you can call in cricket in terms of a bunny rabbit. But you know, we know Vas is a quality bowler. You know, Chris on his day, you know, he can be a very devastated batter. So I mean, from a West Indians perspective, one would like to think that Chris should get the better of him this time around, Philo.
I find you posing those questions to me. I believe that Chris Gill will obviously want to prove the critics wrong. He's in the position of captain of West Indies cricket team. He has to lead from the front. I think we'll see a different Chris Gill for West Indies than the one we saw here against Barbados. I think he's out to obviously prove a point as well to Vas, to tell him, look, you no longer can get me out. I have the ability to bat you, and he should do it. I think it's important that Chris Gill try to bat at least for 1 over in Test match cricket, because the Chris Gill I saw against Barbados, I was totally disappointed with that person. Mm-hmm. I don't think a West Indies captain can come to Barbados to represent his country and bat the way that he batted. I was really disappointed. I think that when you're in a West Indies team and you're playing against